Welcome back. Our first game of the night in Aberdeen on night 15 is in the books, and Nathan Aspinall has made his way through to the semi-finals with a very gritty display. And the most important thing is that he's taken himself from position number 5 in the table to position number 4, which means that taking out MVG puts him on the shelf for the night, but it doesn't put him in the O2 yet. But he has a fantastic opportunity for the rest of the night in Scotland, in Aberdeen, to get a nice buffer over Michael before he plays him again in Sheffield. So Aspinall is through to the semi-finals and will take on either Gerwyn Price or Stephen Bunting in that semi-final. We're going to bring you that game in just a moment with myself, Paul the Asset Nicholson, and Chris Mason. Mace, that was a very interesting start to the night, but Aberdeen never disappoints. We've had world record averages, we've had 9 darters, and this is just another instalment into what Aberdeen does.
Yeah, it's a huge venue, a big crowd. There was a few whistles in there that were just beginning to annoy Aspinall, but yeah, it's in his hands now. It doesn't matter if he doesn't win another game tonight. He knows he beats MVG next week. It's him that's in and Michael that's out, and that'll be a big thing. And that's 4 out of 5 now in the Premier League. That's he's beginning to get one over on him more often than not. But that was a really impressive game. It was very controlled until that 140 finish, and then it just ignited everything. And then it was an array of 180s, a couple of back-to-back 12 darters. Very, very good. And again, just that's sort of where Michael's game is now. Every now and again he'll find something, and we'll see him play at levels of old. Well, maybe not quite, but somewhere near it. It's hard to see where anything major comes in the career of Michael van Gerwen going forward, because not just because his levels are dropped, it's just such a deep pool of sharks and they can smell blood. I
think one of the things that people have to start understanding is that a 97 average, which we saw from both Aspinall and MVG, a 97 average these days is not enough. And if you'd like a little bit more proof of that, how about the fact that Bunting, who is number 8 in the table and has been all campaign long, he's averaging 97.84 and has got 10 points.
I know, it doesn't make any sense. Well, that just shows you how vulnerable you can be averaging those kind of numbers. Where if, by contrast, you look at Littler, over 102.
John McDonald is our MC, calling it in Aberdeen once again, one of the most rambunctious venues on the calendar. So let's have it as Bunting will conduct the crowd against the Iceman tonight, who has teased on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel this week about maybe trialling some new kit, and the man from Wales is going to walk first. Getting a few boos on the walk-on, but he's used to that. And he's adorned in some Scottish colours tonight. He might as well, because there's no Scottish players here tonight. He's trying to play the role of a Peter Wright or a Hendo or a Gary Anderson. And he looks rather good in the Scotland colours, even though he's going to be representing Wales at the World Cup in just a few weeks' time in Frankfurt. And one of the things I noticed on the walk-on there, Mr. Mason, was that his teeth are so white. He looked like they put them in the washing machine with an extra dose of Daz Ultra.
Actually, I love the way he's embraced the idea of wherever he's playing, he wears a shirt related to that place, and he's slowly winning them over. But you would think he would get more support than an Englishman, but I'm not quite sure at the moment with Bunting.
This is a neutral game being played in maybe one of the most interesting atmospheres, but these guys know exactly where they're going in a couple of weeks. Bunting is not going to the O2, Price is. You might as well call him the conductor instead of the bullet these days, because when he gets his way down the Blackwall on, wearing his customary red and black, which are Aberdeen colours, he might just get the crowd for that reason. He's no Willie Miller, he's no Gordon Strachan or Alex Ferguson, he's Stephen Bunting, but he may just be Mr. Popular tonight. Just a shame this song isn't called I Am Tungsten. It's the wrong metal. Nobody has titanium in their darts.
Yeah, they cost a few quid, didn't they, if they were? Don't forget, if you are joining us on our talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel, please like, subscribe, and if you want to get involved and you have a question for myself, Nico, or Dan Dawson, keep them sensible, keep them civil, and we'll endeavour to get involved.
Everybody's feeling the bass out there in this massive arena, which is built just outside of Aberdeen Airport. As soon as you land at that airport, you can see this place. You can't miss it. It is quite incredible. Price is going to have the darts in this match. And I'll be interested to see what equipment he does use, because when he was talking to us earlier in the week, he said, this is a really good opportunity for me to trial something that I think might work in the future. If it doesn't, I'll go back to my original kit. But I think he's got a point. If he's got some new barrels with a sharper grip that he thinks might work in the future, you've got to test these things in a game environment to see if they actually do behave right.
Yeah, because in these type of big venues, the darts will actually act totally different to what they'd act like in a practice room in terms of the way they travel through the air. And it may be a good opportunity as well, because that takes a bit of pressure off, and he's only won one of their last 5 meetings.
It's a really interesting stat, that. But there's no pressure on Bunting tonight. He's been in the bottom spot of the table the whole time, so that will feel familiar. It won't be like him dragging an anchor around anymore. It's just become familiar. Whereas Price, I think we should laud this guy, a 40-year-old from Markham in Wales, because he has been classified as a superstar by Simon Jordan this week.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I have to agree with Simon on that point, because in this year's Premier League, the Iceman has only spent 3 weeks outside of the top 4. And he's been inside the top 4 since the end of week 5. By the look of it, he hasn't changed anything about the equipment tonight.
No, the players get an opportunity. Each of them is allocated a time slot a couple of hours before the venue is opened to just go up and have a throw, make sure they're happy with the lights and the stage. Oh, he's 2 treble 20s in now. Finds the first max. He looks very, very comfortable, it has to be said.
He's looking lean as well, isn't he? Now, if you go on the road with the Premier League, you might find yourself struggling with the diet and the travelling, but I get the feeling that Price has cracked this, you know. He looks as lean as he's ever looked in PDC Darts, and he looks uber focused tonight with that 140 to leave himself very handily placed in this first leg.
He looks fresh-faced. I thought that when I seen him on that interview that you had just mentioned, where Simon Jordan called him a superstar, and I thought, oh, he looks leaner. The thing is, these are long campaigns, and you think for a lot of these lads now that are trying to juggle Euro tours and Pro tours, is constantly on the road, like I say, constantly living on convenient food.
Yeah, well, nothing convenient about being 8th in the table for Bunting, but he's got 81 there off a 1 treble visit up top to leave 160. Price on 83 gets a bull. He didn't want that, he wanted the 25 to leave himself on 58. So 33 left. It's going to be 9 for double 12 to take the first leg. He misses double 12 just high by a centimetre, giving Bunting a chance to break on 160. Would be the biggest finish of the night so far.
Not going to get it. Big 5 found. Single 20. Finds a treble. So Gerwyn Price. 2 12s for 1-0 and a hold. He's inside.
Now a double 6, and he splits that one. Just double 3. Just below. And the trapdoor double causes him trouble. With Bunting on 75, this is an excellent opportunity to change the narrative of this first leg. Single 17 followed by a central big 18 for Tops. And he misses Tops drastically lower by about 2 centimetres, giving Price a chance at 6.
This time he gets it. It is very much a theme with Gerwyn Price. If he starts to miss doubles, he tends to fall into that role of missing them throughout the match.
Our 4th year in Aberdeen at this venue. Not the first 180 that we've seen here tonight, but possibly the loudest, because that maximum to start leg 2 puts Bunting on a potential 9-darter. And we have seen 9-darters in Aberdeen before, haven't we, Stephen? 4 perfect darts, but not a 5th. He'll have to settle for 181 after 6 darts here. A really good start to leg 2.
Yeah, also congratulations to Ross Smith, who, well, speaking of 9-darters, 2 in the same competition at the Pro Tour, didn't he?
Didn't even play that well, apparently. Porky pies. I don't believe you, Ross. Well, believe this from Bunting. 181 shrinks down to 76 after 9, and this is a beautiful response after losing that first leg to Gerwyn Price. 66, well, 3 trebles, 1 treble 20 and 2 treble 1s. Get him to 280 with Bunting on 76 to equalise. Starts with a small 20 and a big 16 for Tops this time. Finds it all the way to the left-hand side, but that'll do for 1-1 on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. This one just starting to get interesting as Price, in the table on 24 points, can still catch Luke Humphries in the number 2 position. But you would fancy, based on form and likelihood, Mace, that when it comes to the O2, it looks like he might be up against Humphries in the semi-finals.
Yeah, I mean, is there any better draws? It's meant to be the cream of the cream, so every game's going to be tough in that semi-final, no matter who plays who.
Is this the right time of year to use the annual phrase of creme de la creme? 140 from Bunting to leave 261. He's at the halfway point of the leg. On the Price throw, but a ton in resistance there from Gerwyn to leave 207. This one is finally poised. Price averaging about 90. Bunting, 111. Yeah, that makes sense. Give it time. It'll even out. It always does.
Yeah, it's a super start. Pricey just about holding on to his throw here. 207, Bunty 202. Found the treble 19 on cover. Gets 2 of them. Down to 73 when he returns. 202
here. You've got to get 105 or more here. He should go bull to leave a 2-darter because he's got 80 here. Initially he wasn't going to do it, but then he rethought. Gets the bull to leave 72 with Price 1 point behind. He goes for treble 19 and gets a big 19. Single 14 leaves an open Tops at the top of the board, and that's hit in the right centre for a 2-1 lead. And you heard that celebration. You may have heard that one in Glasgow.
You could have heard it in Markham. He was pleased with that. He was under the cosh a little bit there. Drops his throw there, and next thing you find yourself 3-1 down and in a spot of bother. He's found the trouble. Doesn't follow. Just a ton.
3 weekly wins in this campaign for Gerwyn. Very, very good win in Dublin in week 3. One in Liverpool in week 12. And of course Nottingham in week 6. And curiously, this will be the 3rd meeting in the Premier League between these 3. And whoever wins this game wins the night. Of course, it was the final when Bunting won in Berlin. But curiously, when you get a winner of Bunting versus Price, you get your winner. I wonder if that's going to continue here in Scotland. 267 Price. Bunting with 100 leaves himself 244.
Yeah, that night in Liverpool he was outstanding. 106.74 beating Dobey, 105.27 beating Cross, and 104.43 and beating Humphries in the final. That's just stunning darts.
Yeah, Premier League nights don't get much better than that. I mean, he didn't even win a game in Manchester and hit a 9-darter, so a bad night was a good night because he got a set of golden darts, which is something that 3 other players have also got, courtesy of the title sponsor. 187 Price here. scores 80 points, but the last start in the 60 gets him down to 107. That could be crucial.
And those gold darts valued at £30,000, isn't it? Nice little bonus.
104 for Bunting. He's not going to get out here. Small 5, followed by a 19. Treble 20 leaves him on double 10, though. If Price doesn't take 107, he's got a 19 and can't find the treble 16 in it. Wry smile from the South Walian. Another single leaves him on 56, and Bunting's got 20 here for a Desmond game.
I think Gezi disappointed not to get a dart at anything there on the back of the 107. Just outside for Bunty on double 10. Makes the adjustment 2-2.
These guys have met plenty of times. In fact, 21 times before, but there's one meeting that they've had that dominates their head-to-head record. It was a semi-final at the 2021 World Championship. It was a finishing masterclass from both players, but Gezi would win that game and go on to become champion of the world. So, by virtue of what we said earlier, whoever wins a game between these two usually goes on to win something. Ton there from Price. He's hanging on with this 92 average, but when you've got the darts, you can have a slightly lesser average and still win.
Absolutely. His issue at the moment on the Bunty throw, he's getting thrashed and being left behind. That's where there's a big disparity in the numbers.
Does it say to you that maybe we're going to get 11 legs in this contest? Bunting is looking bulletproof, no pun intended, on his throw. 181 shrinks. He's hit a 165 to leave himself on double 8 after 9 darts. This is just a typical Stephen Bunting performance in this Premier League, but maybe his timing's a little bit better in this game. Double 8 with Price on 162. Misses double 8 to the left, then to the right by a smaller margin. So he's got double 4, open bed in the top right corner. He misses that by a similar margin outside compared to his first dart of that visit, with Price still on 162.
Yeah, he'd be kicking himself, not paying closer attention. Down to 97. Bunty, double 4, break of throw, and a chance to lead 3-2. Just on the outside, needs a small adjustment. Makes that adjustment, leads 3-2, and, well, for my money, the better player of the two right now, and by some distance.
Can't argue with that. Price got out of the traps, but it didn't last very long. Bunting has been more sustained and has found his moment to break the throw to take this 3-2 lead. Yeah,
he's been leg on leg on leg, hasn't he? Pricey, a bit erratic. Nothing erratic about this.
You go all the way to Northern Scotland. You don't want to play one game, lose and have to go home. You want to go there, be successful, and take that shiny little trophy and £10,000 away. Another ton from Bunting, his second of the leg. 3-2 up on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. Thanks for your company. Chuck us a like and a subscribe if you've got enough fingers available with a multi-screening action on Thursday night. I know what you're all doing.
Ooh, 2 single 20s with a on the wire of the treble. Does get a ton. Down to 201, but advantage Price 187. Small one found. Again, success on the cover twice.
72 left, and Price every day of the week is going to go for 16s when he comes back to try and break Bunting on 201. 80 with the first two, so he should go bull with the last, and he gets the centre of the board to leave 71.
Not for the first time. Oh dear, single 7. Oh, great recovery, needs double 10. Right on the wire, and it literally clipped the wire, and the dart nearly came out. 71 for Bunty after a great 130.
Still averaging 103 here, Stephen. 71 left, and he's got a treble 13 to the delight of the Aberdeen audience. Double 16 found with his first attempt for a 4-2 advantage here. And all of a sudden, Aberdeen is going Bunting mental. 4-2 up. And with 10 points in the table, getting 2 here would put severe pressure on Chris Dobey in 7th. Maybe because he's not going to qualify for the O2. He's thinking, how high can I actually get? He gets 5 points here, he gets 5 points in Sheffield, he gets 20 points. He could climb to position number 6.
Yeah, there's vast difference in the prize money, isn't there, depending on position. 8th place is 60,000. If you finish a place higher, it's 65, and 6th is 70. There's plenty to play for.
And you win the last 2 nights, you get an extra 20,000, so nobody would say no to that. 4-2 Bunting. He's on 3-1-6. Price looks a little bit forlorn at the minute on 3-1-3.
Yeah.
Seems to have lost his pep.
He's like a bully that's been clipped.
And the bully says, oh no, this is not going to be my day. At this stage, Bunting is taking control. That 140 gets him to 176. And Price is not going to leave a finish either. Only 99 from him to lead 2-1-4. And this Anglo-Walian battle is going the way of England right now. Stephen, one of the highest ranked players in the world, scores a ton. He's not going to the World Cup this year because Littler and Humphries will play for England in Frankfurt next month.
Who do you think they're going to beat in the final?
We'll get on to that. Bunting's looking for a 5-2 lead on 76 with Price on 150. There's the first single 20. There's the requisite single 16. It was a bit low for his liking. And the tops was also low. So he's got double 10 left with Price on the equivalent of 3 bulls. And he went for 3 bulls. Interesting play.
Well, that tells you what he feels about this game right now.
He looks like he's going through the motions a little bit. There might not be many motions to go through. Bunting's now on double 5. He's just missed that double 10 inside. So he has to recalibrate and go for the top of the board on double 5. Misses it high by 1.5 centimetres. A similar dart, leaving himself on 10 with Price on tops.
He was walking on that double 10. Price ain't going to be walking on that one. He will with dart 2.
It's amazing that the rule is when you hit the double, it's called by the referee. Price has just thrown his extra dart that was left, but that doesn't actually disqualify the finish.
It does in the rule book, doesn't it? The only time there is no rule on that is when it's game shot on the match.
There are only certain players that have done that in the past. They've thrown a dart in frustration once the visit is finished. I've seen James Wade do it, I've seen Darryl Gurney do it, I've seen Price do it, and curiously all 3 of those guys are pretty good pals.
Yeah, it was interesting. Pricey, and he thought James Wade was his, outside of his best macro Johnny Clayton, his best pal on tour.
58.
I think Price is a lot more popular than he realises. I think maybe amongst the fans it's a bit sketchy, but amongst the players he's got a great deal of respect.
Yeah, he's great company. He's great to go out with. Was it Denmark he won on the Euro Tour? Yes.
Yeah, he won the World Series last year.
Yeah, World Series. Sorry. Yeah, no, I went out with him afterwards with his pal, and we had a great few hours walking around the town.
You're gonna have to get Harry Durham to interview you about that night out.
Not a chance.
Okay, Price on 301, Bunting 201, goes for an aggressive 140 and gets it at 4-3 up. He's got 61 when he comes back, and Price is not going to leave a finish. He hasn't got enough trebles, in fact he hasn't got any, and he gives it the old ironic thumbs up when he leaves 2-4-2.
Nathan Aspinall the other week was brilliant. Couldn't find a treble, then found one and said, oh, there you are. Double 16 for Bunting. The 5-3 will be back. Pricey only halfway through the leg on 2-4-2.
This game's just gone a little bit flat now. It's lost a little bit of pep for both players, but Bunting has still got a sizable advantage here of 110 points. He's on 32 for a 5-3 lead, misses double 16 outside, and then a little bit more outside, but it's closer, and it wasn't a blocker. He's just at double 16 miss when he could only see about a quarter of it. What a shot. 5-3 up.
That one away. Pricey pops in another max, just showing a little bit of resistance. Big 180 from Hugh Ware, wasn't it?
It really was. Well, he is Welsh.
Yeah.
Bunting is not on a 180 of his own, but he does take a 2-treble visit. doesn't win tonight, Price will be disappointed, but there could be another way he cheers himself up. How about a 9-darter in Aberdeen? He's got the 2 180s, and when he comes back for 141, you know for a fact that he's going to go for treble 19 first. He always does this. So is it going to be a second 9-darter in the Premier League this year for Price? There's your 57. There's your treble 20. Double 12. And it's another 9 for Gerwyn Price. Does he get another set of golden darts? He may just do, and he's just brought Aberdeen to their feet. Incredible. It's not the first time in his career he's had 2 9-darters in a season. The last time he did it the same night in Belfast. Yeah. And look at the crowd now they love him.
There is a trend where when the 180 is in, the plastic glasses just go up in the air. Myself and Paul had this great view of one, and there must have been, I don't know, 8 grand's worth of beer in the air at one time. Wet. Well, they were from Scotland, weren't they?
Yes, they are. Marty Pello, eat your heart out. What a sweet little mystery this game is. Incredible. 5-4 Bunting is the score. The last time Price hit a 9-darter in the Premier League, he lost the match. He may lose this match, but maybe the adrenaline has given him a bit of a kick here.
I don't even know where that's come from, because he was patchy, he was all over the shop. I mean, his average now is only 93, and he's just had a 9.
Coincidentally, if anybody is curious, a 9-dart average is 167. So that's the point that Mason is trying to make. But it is a very salient point, because he has gone missing in this game, and then all of a sudden he said, "Remember me?" Why did people keep hitting 9-darters against Stephen Bunting? It happened twice in Hungary last year. Martin Schindler did it to him, and so did Kortrekker of Norway. He's like a 9-dart magnet.
Used to call James Wade that. 2-8-1 apiece. Price with a real opportunity to steal through here and take us all the way. Only 58 down to 2-2-3.
Starting to figure out why people are gradually getting on the Gerwyn Price bandwagon here. If you want to get popular, hit 9-darters. Quite simple. Maybe some of these Aberdeen folk had a bit of a wager on a 9-darter being hit tonight. 2-2-3 Price. He's got 2 treble 19s there on the cover, and he may just be taking this game to an 11th leg. It is 5-4 Bunting, and he's sitting on 221 here, with Price on 89 to win leg 10.
2-2-1 Bunting finds a 140, pressures the 89.
89 it is for Price. He's got a small 19, and he hasn't got anything in the 20 department. That treble 1 leaves him on 67. A big 9 leaves him on 58, and Bunting can take this game away in 10 legs with 81 more. This is on his throw. If he doesn't hit this, he might have to break in the last leg. There's a 19. There's a treble 12. It's double 13 for the match, and he's missed it just a little bit to the left, and he thought it was good.
Yeah, move the wire. So 18 tops for Price. Will have the throw in the last leg if he finds tops. That's right on it. Oh, over adjusted. Didn't use it as a guide.
Unlucky for some. Bunting's on 13. On night 15 in Aberdeen, wearing Aberdeen colours, wants to play against Nathan Aspinall in the semi-finals here in Scotland. He will do if he hits double 4. He hasn't. Now he's got double 2. But he has hit that. It had to be the red double in the end. There's a sense that maybe both players have won something in that match, because Price had the 9-darter. He's leaving the stage right now in the Scotland colours with a bit of a smile, and I'm sure a very high adrenaline level. But because Stephen Bunting was the better player from the early stages towards the end, he's the one who wins that one by 6 legs to 4 minutes.
Yeah, the right winner for me. He was a better player throughout. Well, with the exception of that 1 9-dart leg. But yeah, it's good to see Bunty. Doesn't seem affected, or, you know, we have seen the Premier League really turn people's careers in the past, and, you know, you began to fear when it was 7 weeks in without a win, and but he's responded well, he's upbeat, and he's still playing some lovely stuff.
And he's up to 12 points as well. So Chris Dobey, who plays next against Rob Cross, knows that he doesn't want to get the wooden spoon in the table. So stay tuned on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel for more action. It will be Cross and Dobey next. But when it comes to the Darts Premier League, the last thing you want is an online mishap throwing you off your game. Threat Protection Pro helps you dodge bogus sites, and with the Dark Web Monitor, you'll get a heads up if your personal info starts circulating in the online equivalent of the madhouse. Go to nordvpn.com/dartsvpn and get 2 years plus 4 months free and a birthday deal. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Keep it here on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. It's Cross and Dobey next.